So continuing to examine Lithuania's military situation on this channel, let's take a closer look at the NATO Enhanced Forward Presence, or EFP, stationed in the country. For those who are unaware and haven't watched my videos on this topic, NATO member nations have agreed to station multinational battle groups on the alliance's eastern edge to reassure those member nations and to deter Russia. Most of this was the result of Russia's annexation of Crimea in 2014, but the full-scale invasion of Ukraine in 2022 resulted in commitments to add more of these enhanced forward presence groups in other countries in the region. In Lithuania, the multinational battle group is led by German military forces, and this makes up the majority of the EFP. Joining Germany are a few more nations: Belgium, the Czech Republic, or Czechia, Iceland, Luxembourg, the Netherlands, and Norway. Of course, you can't station the same foreign soldiers here permanently, and so they rotate in and out every few months. And so with this in mind, let's see what we can find out about the 15th rotation, which will be here between February and July 2024. Okay, so I have to add a few disclaimers here before I begin. Number one, this does not include the air police mission, with NATO member nations rotating fighter jet units in and out of Cholet Air Base. Secondly, some information is easy to find, and some information was much more difficult. With so many different countries and different languages, and also different locations for information, I did my best, but I don't know how complete it is. And so this leads me to point number 3. If you have information that is more accurate and up to date, please leave it down in the comments section. I mean, as long as it's not classified or anything. Okay, so with that out of the way, let's begin. So according to a press release from the Lithuanian Armed Forces on February 7th, Lieutenant Colonel M. Kruger was assigned to take charge of the NATO EFP Battle Group Lithuania. Organizationally, the NATO Battle Group is part of Lithuania's Iron Wolf Brigade and is comprised of 1,600 troops. The main German unit of this 15th rotation is the 104 Tank or Panzer Battalion of the Bundeswehr. When not deployed, the Panzer Battalion 104, which belongs to Panzer Brigade 12, is stationed in the Bavarian Freimd. I probably didn't say that right. Anyways, the German-built Leopard 2 main battle tank is the core of this unit. I had quite a difficult time finding specifics about other countries, but here's what I could find. On the NATO EFP Instagram account, there was a January 31st post that stated that for the first time, Belgium was deploying a reconnaissance squadron in Lithuania. It says that they will deploy the versatile 6x6 Pandur, which recently underwent an update, enhancing its protection, weaponry, communication systems, and optics. A slight side note with the topic of this upgrade, I learned that Belgium's military decided to spend 31 million euros updating its fleet of 44 Pandur armored vehicles, mainly to improve safety. Belgian politicians called it a fiasco and a waste of money when it emerged that the upgrade meant that only Belgians below average height could drive the armored personnel carrier. Nonetheless, an article from the Brussels Times says that the Cavalry Scouts, alternatively known as ISTAR, which itself stands for Intelligence, Surveillance, Target Acquisition and Reconnaissance, will be part of the 15th rotation. An ISTAR battalion post on Twitter showed images of the vehicles being transported to Lithuania by train in late January. From Czechia, or the Czech Republic, I wasn't able to find anything about numbers or the specific unit. However, a social media post from NATO notes that new vehicles coming to join the 15th rotation would be SPGH-M77, which stands for Self-Propelled Gun Howitzer 152mm Type 77. These are otherwise known as Dana self-propelled artillery. The Czech unit also has deployed 6x6 Titus armored personnel carriers. And then the Kingdom of the Netherlands has committed to deploying between 270 and 350 Dutch military personnel to Lithuania's multinational battle group. One source says that the Dutch contribution in Lithuania's EFP consists of a motorized company. Another NATO social media post states that the 4x4 armored vehicle known as the Fennec is used by the Dutch soldiers of the battle group. There are two types of Fennec deployed, one fitted for medium-range anti-tank operations and another focused on mortars. The Fennec MR, which stands for mortars, transports an 81mm mortar on its roof, and the anti-tank version is similar to the Fennec MR, but it carries an anti-tank missile launch system. An older NATO post from June 2023 noted a Dutch Stinger platoon provided air defense cover for an EFP battle group. And then going further back in 2022, there was a German-Dutch tank unit deployed, which was the 414 Armored Battalion. And then Swedish-made CV-90 infantry fighting vehicles have been deployed from the Netherlands in the past. And then based on a Facebook post by the Netherlands Land Forces account, These CV-90s are also deployed for the 15th rotation. The same post notes that the Dutch Army's 43 Medical Company and 43 Recovery Company have also been deployed as part of the 15th rotation. When it comes to Norway, a NATO Facebook post notes that the country supports the battle group with Leopard 2 A4 tanks, as well as CV-90 30 Mark IFVs and support elements. Norwegian platoons are also supplied with these Black Hornets. These tiny drones are equipped with advanced cameras and weigh only a few dozen grams. They fly nearly silent and have a flight time of up to 25 minutes for real-time situational awareness, reconnaissance, and surveillance. I believe that between 140 and 150 Norwegian soldiers are part of the battle group. The Norwegian government announced in July 2023 that it had decided to extend the participation of Norwegian forces in NATO's enhanced forward presence in Lithuania until the end of 2024. The country has participated in the EFP since it was deployed in 2017. Okay, moving on to the next country, it was again hard for me to find exact information about the contribution from Luxembourg. One post says that the country has supplied a transport platoon several times and contributed a reconnaissance platoon reinforced by a maintenance team another time. Another post from May 2022 says that since January 2020, between 4 and 6 Luxembourg soldiers have been working in the transport team every 4 months. A social media post from NATO's EFP Lithuania account kind of confirms this, showing a photo with just 6 Luxembourg soldiers. And lastly is Iceland. The one thing you should know about Iceland is that it's a member of NATO that doesn't have a regular army. And so then, how does Iceland actually contribute to a military battle group? Well, it appears that it has assigned a single civilian expert to serve at the NATO EFP battle group headquarters. And no, I don't exactly know what this person does. And then a bit of a footnote to all of this is that there seems to be some confusion as to whether or not American forces are part of this battle group in Lithuania. I've seen some websites list them as a contributing nation. Now, I'm pretty sure that the Americans who are in Lithuania are not part of the NATO battle group. Yes, there are Americans based in Pabradė, but they are separate from the NATO mission, which is in Rukla. One thing that confirms this is a video I found on the NATO website, which is titled NATO Battle Group in Lithuania Joins with US Army for Exercise. This clearly notes that the US forces in Lithuania are not with the Enhanced Forward Presence Battle Group. But even though they're separate, it looks like they still do joint training exercises with NATO EFP from time to time, which might be one reason for the confusion. For what it's worth, the US does lead the multinational battle group in Poland. And in case you were wondering, the American units currently based at Pabradė are the Hounds Battalion, which is the 3rd Battalion, 67th Armor Regiment, and then the Battle Kings Battalion, which is the 1st Battalion, 9th Field Artillery. These guys are on a 9-month rotation, which started near the end of September, and so they should be switched up around June. And so in terms of open source information, that's everything that I could find out about the 15th rotation of the NATO Enhanced Forward Presence Battle Group in Lithuania. There are certainly a lot of blanks that could be filled in, and so again, if you know more that is not classified, feel free to post it in the comment section. It would be fun to do something like this for every rotation, but with information so scattered and time-consuming to gather, with limited results, I'm not sure if it's worth it. But what do you think? Let me know if you enjoyed this video and want to see more. And for the Lithuanian word of the day, let's go with something simple like tarptautinis, which means international. Tarp is the word for between, and tautinis is the word for national. Tarptautinis. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.